If we are careful to study the foundations, the fundamentals, we'll discover one thing that was true to all of these men. What's the essence? If the foundation be destroyed, there's nothing the righteous can do. When Jesus came, the focus was the kingdom. And so the entire world and everything about it was rubbished. It had no value. It meant nothing. It was the kingdom. When Abraham had to get thee out, it was the same principle. So he could abandon kindred and everything to where? To a land that I will show thee. Meaning that the world as it is, did not make sense. And we now found, like we read, that the man sojourned in the promised land, living in tabernacle. He didn't build any permanent house. Why? Because he was seeking for a city which had foundations, whose builder and maker is God. You made mention of Job. Job was pursuing an agenda. He obviously was looking at eternity. Wealth and riches only found him because he was in the center of God's will. How do we know? When all of that was taken away, Job was still faithful and loyal. He prostrated and worshiped. He said, the Lord giveth, the Lord taketh. Blessed be the name of the Lord. In other words, none of these things could move him. The world meant nonsense. It was the kingdom. But it meant that they discerned the value of the kingdom, because the kingdom is what you sacrifice everything for. So Jesus preached it. We keep it aside and we make altar calls and make confession and think that should work. That's not what Jesus said. Jesus said, before you come, sit down and count the cost. Let me also say this. I believe it will help. We've made the church come one, come all, because we're trying to do church growth. Jesus established the church or the kingdom as a cult only for the few. That is why when he's teaching in the public, he'll say one thing. When he comes and say, well, to you it is given to know the mystery, but to others these things are spoken in parables. So it was an exclusive thing. Even in the early church, and of the rest does no man join himself to them, but the people, somebody said the people, magnified them, and the believers were the more added to the Lord. Multitudes of men and women who were added, believers.